Hello, everyone. Welcome to another exciting video. I want to thank all of you for watching my videos, for liking, for subscribing, for making this channel possible. The more people will subscribe, the more videos I will make. And I look forward to sharing my knowledge with the world. Also, I want to make a quick announcement. One of my students who reached the rating of 2000 on chess.com, Charlie, started a blog, and it's a very high level blog. I've seen a number of blogs. This is very well written. Uh, it's by Charcoal 15. He so far made 4 posts. Each of them uh, took him several hours of work. He looks at some of the more instructive, but also very exciting games and analyzes them with quite a bit of depth, as you can see here. So I hope that you will check this blog out. Considering how much work he puts into it, I hope it gets the attention which it deserves. Uh, the next thing we'll do is there was a very instructive game which a student of mine and I played together earlier today. We played against someone rated 1644, which is a reasonable rating. The time control was 10 minutes. And the reason I want to show this is because of a few useful ideas involved. Um, e4, e5, nothing special, knight f3, d6, the Philidor defense. Uh, d4 is the main way to challenge it. This pawn is double attacked. Black took, and we played a somewhat unusual looking move. We took with a queen. Usually taking with a knight seems to make a lot more sense. But there is a point to this, which you will see in a second. Black obviously gained time on the queen. Instead of moving the queen, we pinned the knight, developing the bishop, and of course he unpinned. Every time your opponent moves, you don't know why, so obviously, because there is no pin, the queen is now being threatened. So we took the knight first. Black obviously took with the bishop because this bishop now makes sense. And we played bishop g5. And now there is several ways for black to deal with this. So first of all, bishop e7 is not very good because the bishop needs to defend this pawn. Knight e7 raises a very important question: how in the world does black develop? Because of this. Pawn f6, which seems like a logical move, raises a question: where do both of these guys go? Because both of them want to go here, but only one of them can. Because pawn f6 blocks the knight from going to f6. In the game, black played knight f6, which of course allows us to ruin black's pawn structure. So we took. If black takes with the pawn, okay, castling is hard and black pawns look weird. Like, this is not good. So black took with the queen. We took, he took. Okay, black's advantage, he has two bishops. White's advantage, white pawns make a lot more sense than black pawns. We develop the knight, knight c3, defending this pawn. Black castled long, which is sensible. We castled short, also sensible. Bishop d7, which raises the question how this bishop is going to develop. And we play knight d4. In the perfect world, we would like to play knight f5, and that will be really, 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 really good knight. Also control a lot of squares, also impossible to kick. So let's imagine this happens. This knight is now incredible because black cannot kick it, and he controls a lot of very, very, very useful squares. In the game, black played bishop d7, and now there is a big question. If white plays here right away, black takes, white takes. On one hand, black pawn structure is still not very good, but this bishop might be able to come around at some point. Um, Black also has a pawn 3 majority, but black is probably slightly worse here simply because my pawn structure makes sense and this bishop is restrained by this pawn. We decided to play f4, which is also reasonable. One idea is to put a pawn on f5, making black's development harder. Black plays f5 himself. Okay, small tricks. Which of course loses the pawn, but it gets to a very similar position as before, except compared to the other line, this pawn does not exist. Why is it good for black? Well, his bishop makes sense. But we up an extra pawn. And now if we look at the pawn structure, you can see what the plans are for both sides. This is something we talked about in the last video. If you have not looked at it, please take a look. Pawn structure, a lot of the time, determines the plans for both sides. White has more pawns here, which means eventually white wants to create a passed pawn on this side. Black has more pawns here, which means he wants to start pushing on the queen side. Let's see this in practice. So first, black takes here, ruining white pawns. The big question is whether it was a great move or not. It does ruin white pawns, but that bishop was a pretty good bishop. So takes. White pawns are terrible, but let's see what happens. Rook e8 makes perfect sense, getting the rook in an open line. Rook e1, challenging the open line. King d7. Black wants to trade, but this, again, becomes a race over who gets to create a passed pawn first. King f2. The king is coming to help. f6 really doesn't do anything. In fact, there is a useful idea to remember. If your opponent is trying to do things on one side of the board, a lot of the time you don't want to help him. This makes our life easier. It doesn't really do anything for black. It makes it easier for white to create a passed pawn. Alright, which is what will happen. Pawn g4. Black trades, which doesn't really help. We take back. Rook g8 doesn't really do anything because white king wanted to come up anyway, so he does. It's unclear why there is a rook on g8. We could have also defended this pawn, but then the logic is now we can push this pawn to squares and then push. So by playing king f3, we gain a move. Okay, rook e8. Why? Because this was annoying. But rook e8, now after takes, notice that white made a lot more progress than black did. In fact, black has not made any progress. His pawns are still on their original positions. The goal in the endgame, ultimately, is to create a passed pawn. Alright, so g5. Obviously, if he takes, this helps us a lot, because now this pawn is incredible. So he did not take. He defended. Okay, so now taking is not so great because a lot of people do this, by the way. They take and then they end up with something like this, which, I mean, it's not entirely terrible, but it's pretty terrible. So there is no need to rush. We can improve in the meantime. Maybe black will take us. If not, we'll improve. So king g4. The king is coming to help. c5. Black is trying to make progress, but he's doing it in a really weird way. Because the problem with this move, now white can actually stop black's play. So first, c4 controls this square, which means this pawn can no longer do anything. And the same problem for black, the only way to make progress now is by playing a6, b5. But if he plays a6, we play a4. He can also give up this pawn, but it's not clear to me that this king can stop with this pawn and this pawn. So in other words, let's say here, and let's say he tries to do stuff on this side of the board. We can already do something like this. Boom. And if he tries, it's hard to stop this. If he ignores it, let's say here, and now pawn number 2. And it's hard to stop both of them. The king cannot stop a lot of pawns at the same time. That's an obvious concept. Um, in the game, black played a6, and now a4, and the pawns are just controlled. Okay, black plays king g7, which, I mean, there's not much he can do. He can move the other way. He can play b6, play a5. None of them are very good, so we just gained a little bit more space. And black played b6, and now king f3, because, well, now king can come. His king can't really come too far, because this could happen. And these 3 pawns are controlling 4 pawns of black, and this is kind of useful. Alright, king f7, king e4. He took, which doesn't help. He could also play here, but the problem for him again is we play here, we threaten to come and just pick up everything. And let's say he stops us. Okay, there are several ways to win. The simplest is this, because something will queen. Takes, threaten to queen, runs, and we can just push another pawn. And that's the simplest way, and good luck doing anything. In the game, he took, which really doesn't help. After king e7, king d5, I think he resigned, yeah. Important idea to remember from this game is, again, similar to the last game, pawn structure determines pawns. When you look at something like this, you know that white's plan is to push on the king side. You know black's plan is to push on the queen side. And you need to act accordingly. Also, most of the time, you don't want to push pawns on the side where your opponent is trying to operate. And there are exceptions. Again, the exception was in this game when we spent 2 moves, first playing c4, restraining d5, and then a4, restraining b5. But most of the time, you do not want to play moves like that, unless, again, they accomplish a specific goal. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, please subscribe. Thank you for your support. Once again, please check out the blog of Charcoal Futin. It's one of the better blogs that I have seen on chess. Thank you very much, and I will be back soon.